Guys, is the stream visible? With everything working fine.
Yep, it's working good.
Come on, people, join fast. With chat पे आप ध्यान रखिएगा.
Yeah, sure. देख रहा हूँ. Guys, let some people join in, share link with your friends. This is going to be an exciting session for you all.
Yeah. So, Mohit, I've seen that many people are learning React for front-end technologies, machine learning, some hardware technologies like robotics, IoT, but no one is really much into back-end development. I've seen in second years and first years as well. So I guess Node.js is a good technology or good platform to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's a great way to start learning backend. Node.js is one of the good libraries. So it is easy as well to learn. So I believe yeah, it's a great thing to start with Node.js.
Yeah. As I could say that JavaScript is also a very user-friendly language. Basically, writing English, nothing much. If you know a bit of logic and you could implement that, then Node.js is a piece of cake.
Yeah, it is. It is actually like the syntax is really easy, and yes, you will be seeing some gist of code in front of you within some time.
This background makes us feel like that we are sitting in our college.
Yep.
Come on in, people. So many of these people might not have even seen Campus 15 computer science building.
Yeah, we have seen so many registrations from first year as well. So yeah,
I could say that we have not seen our whole college in our first years. We were back home at March, not got to explore the whole college. These guys haven't seen anything. So, looking forward to meet you all. Hopefully जनवरी में खुल जाए. Finally इस बार जनवरी में खुल जाए. काफी टाइम हो गया अब तो.
yeah, बहुत ज़्यादा. So yeah, we'll be starting the session now
Okay.
because it's already 6 minutes down the line. Yeah, yeah, Sanjay,
Okay.
please take.
Yeah. So hello everyone. I'm Sanchit. As you have seen in the poster, if you have seen it, I'm Web Team Lead IoT Lab Kit. So I'm here to give a crisp and short webinar over the importance of Node.js, and we'll be developing an authentication API. Over to you, Mohit.
Yeah, so yeah, hello guys. My name is Mohit Patel, and yes, I'm also the web team lead at IoT Lab Kit. And yes, I hope that you would enjoy the session, and this will be an interactive session for both the sides.
Okay, Mohit, if you find any questions, queries in the chat, you just let me know. I'll be sharing my screen, so I won't be able to
Yeah,
look over that. Yeah. So
yeah, sure.
before starting, I'd just like to give a brief introduction about IoT Lab. IoT Lab Kit is a society by computer science and by the School of Computer Science. We work on various technologies like web development, app development, machine learning, IoT itself. We have a great marketing team where you get exposures towards clients and many other business related stuff. We want to pursue a good tech stack, and Node.js is one of them, I would say. If you are interested to learn the same backend code in other technologies, you could always reach out to our social media platforms, and yes, we'll be happy to continue with the webinars. So I guess no more faces now, more code. Okay. So yeah, firstly, yes. Could you just tell me in the chat that do you guys have Node.js installed?
Yeah, do let us know. I'm looking in the chat.
Come on, guys, use the chat. Yes, no, yes, no. I guess आज लोग no हो गए ना मुझ. These people are young.
Yeah, I think so.
Young is a wrong word. I'm also not old. Young to
Definitely.
development. Okay. Is there any response in the chat?
Okay, so we have mixed responses. We have many of yes and no's. So yeah, I think it's better to tell them like if there's someone who doesn't know that what are the prerequisites, we should tell them.
Okay, so firstly, I'll be telling you theoretically what are the prerequisites for creating a Node.js API. First of all, what is an API? API's full form is application programming interfaces. This is not relevant. कोई आपसे full form नहीं पूछेगा. Basically, APIs will let you fetch and post the data. Basically, the two functions you could obviously update and delete the data using these APIs. Basically, there are four major types of APIs: get, post, put, and delete. As the name suggests, get is to get the data, basically the fetching of data from the backend. The post API is basically from the front end or from the testing point of view. If you want to give the data back to the database, you would be able to do that with post API. Post request, sorry. APIs are not the right word I could say. Right, more. Post request
Yeah,
sounds more good.
yeah.
Yeah. So the next is the put API. A bit of tough. I don't use put API much, but the put API is basically used to update the data which is already been there in our database. So we can update the pre-existing data, and the delete, as the name suggests, like you delete the photos and you delete various messages. It's just the same. You just delete the records in your database. Okay, so let's get to some code part. I'll be switching off my camera. इतना नेट नहीं है मेरे पास इसलिए. Okay, so yeah, if you have not installed Node.js, just you could just go on Google Chrome. You could write Node.js install. The first link that you would be here you'll find is this. See, if you're a Windows user, you could just go to Windows installer. If you are a rich guy, rich brat, go to Mac OS installer. If you otherwise, there's always an option for Windows installer. I've already installed Node.js, so I would not be installing. It's just the basic installation process. You could click here, and it will start installing. I could just give you a brief. I wouldn't be installing it as I've already done. So it would install 26 MB. I could say not not much slow internet. Okay, so yeah, basically then after this you have to do the next and finish, and the Node.js would be installed. Let me know when you are. I'll just give you a few minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to install. To all those people who haven't installed Node.js till now, just go to nodejs.org and download Windows for Windows. So Mohit, when did you install Node.js for the first time?
I started my backend journey like somewhere around 1 year ago. I would say it's almost 1 year now. And yes, tell me about yourself. Like when did
Ah,
you started all this?
you already know what to tell. Like we both started our web development almost at the same time. We did many projects. The same, I started a bit earlier than you. Like we just redirected our paths back in the second year that you will be pursuing more front end and I'll be pursuing more back end at the start. So yeah, I started around November like in 2020, October end or November maybe.
Okay, that's great. Someone is asking, is there any mobile version for it?
Mobile
Um,
version for, could you just elaborate the question, please?
I think he must be asking for Node.js.
Mm, bro, just to answer this question, I would say that yeah, most of the development is done on your local system on your machine. So there's nothing like Node.js. But how would you code on? Uh, how would you like deploy a server over your phone, over your mobile? So no, I don't think so that there is something like that. You can always use Windows installer or the Mac OS installer. The screen is not freeze, Sushant. We have just taken a break for 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be continuing soon.
Yeah, I guess everyone might have downloaded. In the chat, please give me yes or no if you have downloaded or not. Once again, please.
Yeah,
Yes,
do let us
installed.
know.
Mm. Come on, guys. Yes, no, yes, no. Let's make it more interactive. Monotonous sessions are boring. Hmm. Okay, this guy installed. Installed.
Okay,
Okay, so yeah,
yeah,
I'll move on to the code. You can just go to any of the blank folder that you have. You can open VS Code there, or you can use Git. So I'll be telling you some basic Linux commands to make to make the Node.js app. When you start making your Node.js, first of all check the version. I'll be writing it Node dash dash version 16.13. I guess if you have installed right now, you'd be having some other, or if you have it from earlier, it would be some less. But yeah, anything would work. So now, first of all, we'll be doing npm init. It would basically initialize your node package manager. Now you could it would be easy for you to use different packages and modules for uh, this Node.js app. For yes, I'll go with npm init. Hmm. So yeah, it's for the package names. It would take automatically your folder name. Uh, yeah, as I've mentioned, my folder name is authentication. It's authentication here. Yeah, you can if you don't have Git Bash. I just forgot to mention this. This is the Git Bash terminal. If you don't have Git Bash terminal, you can obviously use CMD or Windows PowerShell. So yeah, package name would be authentication. I'll be keeping it the same, just pressing enter. Version, as you're making your first Node.js application, it would be one. Description is authentication API if you want to give. Entry point, I like to name it server JS, sounds more cool. Test command would be none. Git repository, not now, we'll look into it afterwards. Author is right now Zanzit. This is my GitHub account. You'll find this code in my GitHub account, and as well as the IoT's original GitHub account. License is ISC. There are many licenses that GitHub provides. I'll be using ISC. So this is the basic JSON that you will be finding in your file. I'll just press enter and you'll see a package.json file here, and see, the magic begins. So yeah, the package JSON has been implemented. So yeah, now we'll be creating a server. Basically, I'll be using touch command. Touch command is not for the people using Windows CMD, or for the people using but that Windows PowerShell, or for Windows it is used. The command is ni. You could write ni server.js, but that won't be working here. I'm not having ni in this git bash, so I'll be using touch. Or obviously you can install touch in Windows as well. Yeah, so I've seen a question in the chat. What is the benefit of GitHub Bash over normal CMD or PowerShell? I'll just say it is more like more. Do you want to answer something? Or
I would say it provides you some extra features, and also Git Bash allows you to use some of the commands that are like we have limitations on our normal PowerShell, right? So
hmm.
Git Bash allows you to use those extra commands. So yeah, Git Bash is better comparatively.
I could say, yeah. Basically, GitHub, it's basically authorized by GitHub. Matlab you can easily use GitHub commands over it. The working tree is very well oriented. These things are there in Windows, PowerShell, and CMD as well. But I would say that yes, due to some Linux compatibility, you could say that it is good. It's your choice. Any day, the thing you want to use, you can. Anything you want. So yeah, now I'll be making the yeah. Now the server JS. I'll be working on this server JS. Okay, yeah. So for the first, I'll be use as I've told earlier that we'll be using Express for our I could say the server, the basic Express app will be requiring Express for everything that I require in this server.js file, or any other file. Have to install through Node.js. Remember, we have done this Node package manager initialization. So this would help you to install all these packages. So now I'll be writing npm install express.
Yeah. So just to let you know, Express is a Node.js framework that allows us to simplify our APIs and also to add some additional features. It also makes it easier for us to add some of the functionalities such as middleware and routing that we'll be using within this session.
Okay. I pressed enter wrong place. Yeah. So now I'll be exporting this express as a function to our app variable. I generally tend to use app as a variable for my backend routes and other things. So yeah. Now we have got all our functions of express in as an app variable. Now I'll be setting up my first server. App.listen would help you to, yeah, just let me write the code and I'll tell you what would happen now. We have made our first server. I guess that would work, maybe. If not, then we can't do anything. We have to just go and debug. So yeah, app.listen function can basically have a parameter of the port. You have to just go towards you have to connect your server towards a particular app, to a particular, what could I say, a port number. So app.listen helps you do that. So I have to start the server. I will write the command node server.js. Yeah, as you could see, the hey guys, we have made our first server, and congratulations guys, you have your first Node.js server ready. I'll just wait for a minute or two if you guys haven't processed here till here yet. We can. Hmm. So yes, just I guess everyone would have done till here, right till now. Hmm. Yes, it's done. So yeah, I'll be using some other things now. First of all, we will be installing course. Very important thing. Mohit would be telling you about it. Just a second.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
just
cause
a
is
second, Mohit.
basically,
I
yeah,
let me
yeah,
just
sure.
install this. Npm install course. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Mohit. Continue, please.
Yeah, so CORS is basically cross-origin resource sharing, and as the name suggests, that it allows to make requests from a domain which is outside of our server. So basically, we can say that it's an important protocol to make cross-domain requests possible.
Yeah. We are using this in our app as course to basically nullify all the complication that would arise due to cross origin resource sharing. As you could now you could use this backend server and deploy it and give it to any of those origins which would be using the APIs. So yes, I'll be using two more things will for our app. First would be app.use. Yeah, sorry, I got express. Sorry, yeah, express dot json and app dot use express dot url encoded, and I'll be setting the limit to 30 MB more. Would that be fine?
Yeah, I think we won't be storing that
Mm,
much of data. So yeah,
extended is true. So yes, let me tell you what are we doing with this Express JSON and Express URL encoded. We basically use this for the post request majorly, where that's no requirement for using these two commands for get request. Okay, so basically express.json is a inbuilt method that would what could I say? It would recognize all these incoming requests as a JSON object. That's why we use it. And express.url encoded, uh, it would help that JSON that we are converting this JSON, and this JSON object could be easily recognized as the string or arrays. Okay, guys, so this thing is done here. Now let's come to our database part. We'll be using Mongoose for it. I'm bad at typing.
and just to let you know, guys, about Mongoose. Mongoose is a MongoDB object modeling tool that is designed to work for an asynchronous environment, as we have to make asynchronous calls so that we could receive promises as we want, and also it supports promises as well as callbacks.
Yes, promises and callbacks are JavaScript. So yes, we'll
Yeah.
be using the Mongoose connect function get it connected to our database. Now you could say that our date after this function you will be attaching, you'll be having a full-fledged database that would be having a server, that would be having what could I say, the database as well. Quite fun till now. So guys, if you could tell us in the chat that what else backend technology do you know about about like except this Node.js. This for the yeah, this localhost 270017 is the local host port for the MongoDB, and after this slash you'd be writing the endpoint as the name of the database that you want in your local system. Okay, so yes, it would require two parameters now, as suggested by Mongoose documentation. This is use new URL parser. Did my screen just froze? Was it just working?
Yeah, I think it's working fine.
Okay, yeah. Um, yeah. So new URL parser, and we'll be sorry, just a second. As a developer, you just uh, constantly click Alt tab. Mohit would be familiar with this. And the other
Yeah,
thing is unified topology. That is also true. Basically, what if I have to tell you what this use URL parser do, I would say Mongoose just comes up with many deprecations and some various things. So you could just go into the Mongoose documentation. You could read about it. You'll be finding many things. Mohit, if you could just give in the chat the Mongoose documentation, it would be very helpful for everyone.
yeah, sure. You
Yeah,
you can continue till now.
yeah, okay. So I'll be continuing. Yes, now we have connected our database. It's a local database right now. Now, as we have used app.listen function to live our changes, live our server, so we also need this function mongoose.connect dot on as a function. This function would be living your database, and it would just get connected to your localhost server. So it would take the string parameter at first. It we have to write connected, don't write not connected. It's just the syntax. I'm not writing it on my own. Yeah, and another callback function that would just tell you that the and we'll be consoling it that yes, the MongoDB is connected. If you are not familiar with arrow functions, yes, I forgot to tell you this as well. Sorry guys, I'm not so much good at taking sessions. Please let me know if you have any doubts. I would have missed something as well. If you have any doubts, please let me know. For the people who don't know what this arrow function is, it's basically the alias for what you write here as function, and you write your statements here. Because apart from the like without using this, you could just use arrow function, and it would be done. This would help you if this is one liner function, it would return with we have been using this for a quite long time, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
What would you prefer more, this old function type or this arrow function, and why? Just elaborate,
I
please.
would I would prefer arrow function because it looks nice. It is something that is latest, and
Mm-hmm.
just to also pass some params and everything. It is good in and all.
Nice, nice, nice. I've seen in chat that there are people writing Django, Django, and Rust. Rust, oh my god, these intellectual people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll be starting the server again. Node server.js. Something just happened and it doesn't. Uh, what happened? We haven't seen this in console
I
log.
Yeah. What
Connection.
happened?
The function is connection dot on, not connect dot on. Yes, I forgot
Yeah.
this. I'll be saving this. Yeah, yeah. This there's a crisp here. You could see that I've saved the file and and I've also did some changes. But this node server.js is not able to recognize that. It is basically giving you the earlier. When we'll run this thing again, it would work. But the latest changes are not reflected using node. So node server.js. Mm, again not connected. Something is going not right. Let me check where we are going wrong, Mohit. If you have any idea,
Yeah. Let me just check.
let me
So we
change it.
have this connect.
Hmm. Some error
You
came.
you can
Nice.
okay. Wait. Check. Just try to use mongoose.connection.on.
Yeah, I've written mongoose.connection.on. Hmm. See, this is the beauty of development. I find you just get along with errors and you just find different things running here and there. That should not happen in a session, but yes, you'll be fine. You'll be able to debug this thing as well. Let me change the database name. Webinar. Would that work?
Okay. The spelling of localhost is wrong. Like you have just
Oh,
written loca there.
okay. I told you earlier, guys, that yes, uh, I'm not good with spellings. Yes, now you could see I've written this spelling wrong. Now the MongoDB is connected. Phew, that was tough. You don't want this to happen in a webinar. Okay. Yeah, so now I'll be writing my first endpoint for our data for our backend API. The first parameter is basically the endpoint that you want. The your server would be is running at HTTP localhost 1027, the port number that we have provided here, and everything that we will write after this would be considered as an endpoint. So if I write slash API, and it would be here slash API, and I'll just use a callback function. First I'll be console log, sorry, http localhost 1027 slash API, go to G2 नहीं, damn, I'm very bad at typing, I could say. Bit of under pressure, but you guys has been a nice audience. No more, no trolling till now. I'm very happy. And this, I'll be sending a response here, res dot send. Why it's not taking. Oh yes, I have not. Yes, for yes, as you have used some other languages like C, C++, Java, you need to define the parameters, in the function declare at the time of function declaration, function definition. So I've not used that. We use it in every programming language. There is no difference. Res.send would basically help you get this data. I'll write hi. You could more. What should we do? We test it in Postman, or it's a basic get API we could write here in our
I
Google
think
Chrome
we
as
can
well.
just console it. Yeah,
Right
we
now.
can try it in Google Chrome.
Hmm. Okay. So first of all, let me tell you guys that as I was telling earlier, that Node would not let you fetch the uh, would not let you fetch the latest changes in the code that you are doing. So it's better that you install a package called nodemon. It's should install this globally, npmi. Earlier I used to write install, but I is just a shorthand for install, so you can use anything that you like. Npm I dash g nodemon. It would take a bit of time
Yep.
as it installs globally. So yes.
So someone just asked why we are choosing 1027. So Sanchit, if you could tell.
Ah, good question. You could use any number. I like the number 1027. Oh, bro, personal things. So it could be anything, your birth date, if you're anything you want. Not it should just be valid port number. I use this like in React. Many people use 3000. They don't even care to change 3000. Both we have been using 3000 for like forever, I could say.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So yes, now instead of node server.js, we could write nodemon server.js, and it would start. And any changes that I'll do, MongoDB connect, and I'll say it would restart, and uh, all the changes are reflected there. Yeah. So yes, now I'll just go to Google Chrome and I'll hit this endpoint http localhost not 3000 1027, and it's not cannot get. What is the problem? And yes, there's no
Yeah.
API
Slash.
name slash. So now I'd be using slash API, and you will be getting this high. You can even test this on various testing tools like Postman, Thunder Client. Thunder Client is provided by VS Code itself. It's light. Postman is a very heavy application. Many people don't use it. Okay, someone told that they always prefer 8000. Nice.
Yeah. So one more thing, like someone asked, what about 80? So yeah, just to let you know, the port number till 1024 are not available. So
Hmm.
yeah, we use any port number which is above 1024.
Okay, that's nice. Intelligent people in our chat, right? Yes.
Yep.
So now I'll be creating the whole folder structure that we'll be needing for this application. So for the first, I'll be creating models, and I'll name the file as user.js, and while I'm creating routes, and it would be user route.js. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll be creating this routes folder. So that is the folder which you all are excited. Like we'll be creating our routes for login and registration in that folder only. So yeah, and in the models we'll be creating the schema for our mongoose for our database. Yeah.
Okay, Mohit, if you yeah, we have also used this live share thing by WhatsApp. So me and Mohit, we both could code at the same VS Code. So you could just go to the extensions and write live
Mhm.
share, and yes, you could download this. It would help you if you are not like if you want to code something, if you face any issues, you could just share this to your friend, and it you both could resolve the code. So Mohit, if you could just define the schema, it would be nice.
Yeah, so first of all, we'll be defining the schema. So we have to import mongoose and we'll import it as we did it in server.js. So yeah, for this and before creating a schema, let me tell you something about schema. Schema is basically the structure of a document or the object for your database, which is MongoDB here. So to create a schema, I will be defining a constant user schema. And since we are creating a new schema, so we'll be using a new keyword and we'll be writing mongoose.schema, and then we'll provide the attributes that we require for our login and registration. So yeah, we'll be providing the first name that is required, and then we'll provide the type of this attribute. So it will be string, and then we will be using this required because obviously you don't want that someone will get registered just
Without
by
its name.
giving their, yeah, without their name. So yeah, it will be a required field, and then we can just have a last name which will be having the type string as we did in the name, and we can keep it not much of required because yeah. So then we'll be having email, and we'll keep it uh, as string also. And yes, email is required. So yeah, email required will be true. Then we'll be having password, and the password will also be of string type. And yes, password is definitely required. So yeah, password. And then one more attribute will be using confirm password, so that just in case any user uh, just types in something else instead of what he or she wanted to type, so yeah, it could check that if we have same passwords on both the things or not. So yeah, we'll be providing it as type string. And yes, so here we have created the schema for our database, and now we will model our database to convert it into a collection. So we'll be giving a const user, and then we'll be using mongoose dot model. Then we'll be providing a collection name, and then we'll be giving our schema name. So basically, what this does is it creates a the model function creates a collection of our schema, and then what we'll do, we'll just export it using module.exports, and we'll be giving the username. So yeah, so here we have created our schema as you can see, and now we'll be moving forward with some routes which you all are excited for. So yeah, Sanjay, please carry.
Yes, I'll be doing that. Hmm. Okay, I was into the chat. There was some healthy discussion going on. So yes, Mohit, if you could just explain route. Someone asked about the route I've mentioned in the chat. What is routing? What are the routes? If you could just let them know what are routes. Just a basic definition.
Okay, so routes are basically the endpoints. You define some endpoints and you just put the operations that are given by Express, like get, post, put, and delete. So you can define different routes for different kinds of uh, operations that you want to do.
Okay. So yes, I'll be using this express.router function. I'll be storing that in a user router variable expressed out router. It would help. The expressed out router function helps you to create a router. Uh, for handling some asynchronous call, we'll be using express async handler to require that as well. It's better
Yeah.
that you
So
install.
just to
Mhm.
let you know about Express Async Handler, it is a middleware which is used to handle exceptions inside of Express routes, which gets passed to your Express error handlers.
It's better that you install things first. You don't have to write then. You might be using some
Yep.
things. Yeah, and I'll be also installing that bcrypt. Remember Mohit, bcrypt we used to do for hashing. You could elaborate that as well.
Yeah, yeah. So bcrypt is just a module to hash any of our variables. In this case, we'll be using it for passwords because you don't want like anyone would be storing your password directly. It should be hashed. So yeah, we'll be using bcrypt for that.
Okay, so let me require this. Now, yes, let's go. Yeah, let me import the models as well. I'll be using the user variable too, and the basic things. If you need to require a file, if you need to require any library, just use require. Use basic Linux command. Go back to the main directory. So yeah, you'll find the models here, and put a slash. You'll find the user. The basic path name declaration definition is there. So yes, now we'll be using our user router dot post. We have created a router for post. For the first parameter is for the endpoint, the name, as I've already mentioned, that slash API. This is an endpoint. We'll be using slash register here. The second parameter is for middleware. Right now, we are not using any middleware right now. So the next function would be an asynchronous function that because the values could just because uh, it would return a promise. We need to handle the promise, and that could be asynchronous. So to keep up with that, we are using this a it would be an async function. And remember, we have installed this express async handler just to get rid of all the exceptions that appear while handling this asynchronous functions. Okay, so why is it giving error? Yeah, my VS Code is a bit slow. Now, yes, for the whenever you go on a register portal of any screen, register screen, if you are already registered, what do you expect that you'll get? Like I have registered on Facebook from test@mail.com, and I would try to register again from that same email ID. Facebook just kicked me out and just say, bro, you are registered, just use that email id and email id and password. So yes, I'll just find that if I've registered or not. Const user, I'll be declaring a variable await. These are two the same, we can't use two same variable names. I'll be naming this as username. Await user dot find. One user is our model, a schema which would store all our data records, and it will be passing an object with the key value of email. and the value that would be entering in the body, rec.body.email. Mohit, if you could just take some time and elaborate over what are request and responses. Afterwards or right now is your wish. I'll be writing the code. Just
Yeah,
let
sure.
me finish the code and we'll be explaining you the code line by line. I'll just be
Someone wrote express async handler spelling is wrong. Yeah, just check it once.
oh, I've used this capital S. Thank you so much for letting me know this. User already exists. Yes. So what is this? Yes. So now, this is a basic callback function and asynchronous callback function with two parameters of request and response. Request is basically that you would be making from the front end, from the testing tools, to require values to get the values. Okay. And response is the response that you would be sending if the things go well, or and even if the things don't go well, there's always a response from the backend. In this line number 9, we are just finding any of the user that have the same email that we have input in rec.body.email, that basically you'll be having a body in your front end. Maybe when you'll call the APIs, there would be a body part. I'll be telling you this body thing in elaborately when we'll be testing. So in the body there will be an email field which would be containing a mail called sanchit@iot.com. This is the body, and in the next in your database there is the same email called sanchit@iot.com. You'll get the error. You'll get the response as it would not be 401. It would be 400. It's a bad request. Mohit, if you could just elaborate about, if you could get like post in the chat about the Mozilla documents or documentation about status codes, it would be nice.
Yeah, sure.
It would tell you user already exists.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have put the link in the chat. You can just go and check the HTTP status codes. Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys want me to elaborate about the range as well? Uh, so Mohit, we could just tell them about what are the ranges, or what is 200 is always for success, the range of 200s.
Yes. So
Hmm.
as I've already provided the documentation, so yeah, we can just tell them like 200. The series of 200s are for successful responses, and 400 series is for client error responses,
Responses.
and 500 is for server error
Internal server
responses.
responses.
Yeah, so these are three ranges which we use most of the time.
Yes, we are using this 400 because it is a client error that client didn't provided the valid email, that like it is a valid email, but it's an email that is already been there in the database. So we are writing it as 400. And now we'll move to the next part. If this thing would happen, and the response would be sent and your code would just get terminated here, and I'll be writing return, and you'll just be out of the function and the API would be over. The next thing is, let me write const user. If the username doesn't exist, if this sanchit@iot.com is not in our database, new keyword, we'll be using C++ and Java people, new. all the names and in the key values would be the same that we have mentioned here in our schema as first name, last name, email, password, and confirm password. Rec dot body dot first name, last name. Am I writing it correctly? Yes, sir. Last name rec dot body dot. And yes, now the password thing. We will be using hash. Uh, Mohit, hashing. Finally here. Pcrypt dot hash. It is a function called hash sync. Yeah, here we have to provide two parameters. One is the field that you want to hash, rec dot body dot password, comma 10. It would basically generate a 10 digit what could I say, 10 I don't know what to say to this. But if you have, do you have any idea what is this 10 for? We basically use for creating a 10 digit hash or something like that, right?
Yeah, it is basically for I believe it is for to hash our password in a particular
Hmm.
format.
Basically, this 10 would, if talking about talking about more elaboration, I'd say that there are 10 rounds of hashing that has been done to this password. Yes, the same would be, we'll be doing the same thing for the confirm password as well. What is for confirm password? Have you, yeah, not followed camel case? No problem. You guys try to do this in a camel case. It's nice. Hash sync again. We are using this hash sync function to just do it synchronously. Rec dot body dot confirm password comma 10. And yes, I guess the user is done here. Just now we'll be using a try catch block. Many people of you might be knowing because of object oriented programming. If the things go well, it would go in try. If the things don't, it would go back to catch. Let me add catch error console error. It would automatically get the error and would uh, display it. So yes, if everything is going fine till now, we'll just check one thing. If rec dot body dot password is the same as rec dot body dot confirm password, we'll be saving this thing. User dot save, dot save function would save your or save all the fields in the database. Else we could just say, we could console, and we can also return a response. Console log password does not match. Res.json password. I'll just be copying it. I've been typing a lot now. Hmm. Password does not match. This it would be Yeah, so the if condition is there. If the password and the confirm password are the same, we'll be saving it. If it is not, we'll be just consoling and giving a response of password does not match. At the end of all this, we will just be returning the status code. It what do you think? Would it be better to write it here or in this? Let's ask in the chat where it would be better. What do you guys think? We should write it on line number 27 or line number 39.
Yep, let me check for the responses.
Hmm.
Okay, anyone who want to answer, just write it in the chat.
Okay, I'll be continuing with line number. No of the options will be used. We'll be writing on line number 40. So I'll be sending a first of all I'll be sending a status that is 200, that everything is going fine. If anything doesn't go fine, it would just return from the above, and from here I'll just do id user dot underscore id. This is the basic mongoose id, mongodb id that is generated by the mongodb itself. And yes, now I'll be giving you the name. User dot first name, email is user dot email, and yes, the token. In the login thing, would be telling you about token. Now for token, we have to generate a token. We'll be using a file named utils, and we'll be sending the user data in its function. I'm just writing this generate token here, and I'll be creating a file called, no, this is wrong, utils dot js. There's some error in user out. Oh, we don't use semicolon inside it. Let I guess this would work. Yes, now. So Mohit, if you could just go on with the utils folder
Yeah,
and I'll import it there.
yeah. So to generate a token, basically we'll be using a library or module, you could say. It will be using a JSON Web Token over here. So what the JSON Web Token actually does is it creates a signature with a secret key that will be provided in the sign function of the JWT, which is JSON Web Token, and it will return a token that will be used within a particular session of any user, and it basically stores the identity of the user also, and it consists of three parts: headers, and there is a header, and then there is a payload, and then there is a secret key. So yeah, just to write the code, we'll be exporting our token. So we'll be using module dot exports. We'll be giving our user as a parameter, and here we'll just return a JWT signature with JWT sign function, and we'll be providing the ID of the user. Then we'll be having the name of the user. We'll be keeping it first name since we have first name over here in the schema, and we'll be using email also. And yeah, so this is the first parameter, and then we'll be providing a secret key. So for the secret key is basically whenever a JSON web token has been sent from the client side to the server side, so this JSON web token usually verifies the user using this secret key only. So right now I will be providing a basic secret key which is secret key only, just for this thing. And then I will be providing that how long will this token stay. So I'll be providing expires in, and I will put 2 days over here, like my token will expire within 2 days. So yeah, that's how your token will be generated using JSON web token signature. Yeah, so
Yes.
Sanjit, you may continue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this utils file has been generated. Now we have the token, we have the code for generating the token. We just need to import it here in our user routes. Const generate token equals to require utils, and yes, the generate token should be working now. And yeah, but now this thing won't work as we have not exported this thing, we have not used this thing in our server. So what we have to do is just use this line app.use slash API slash API, and after this app.use slash API, this is basically localhost 1027 slash API, and we have written this post request with an endpoint slash register. So this API endpoint would be automatically converted to slash API slash register. So yes, app.use slash API, and we'll be entering user route. Here we have to import it here as well. Const user route, I'll go to the routes folder and user route. Yes, everything's working fine now. What did my terminal say? Yeah, just shows some error. Yes. The big problem is I've not exported this thing from here. Every file that you are creating and you are importing somewhere else, it should be exported like Mohit did on the first line. I'll be using it, I'll be writing it downwards here as we'll be using another file. I guess that would help. There's something else, module.user router. Yeah, it's more user router, not user route. Yes, now everything is good. Uh, so yes, Mohit, now you could start writing the sign in API as well. We'll be testing it
Okay.
all once.
Yeah. So now we'll be writing the code for the login or sign in part. So first of all, the syntax is kind of same for both of them. We'll be using a post request for this, and we'll be providing an endpoint which is sign in, and then we'll simply use express async handler, as we already discussed that it is used to handle exceptions within express routes. So yeah, so we'll be doing that. We'll be providing an async function, and then we'll check basically that whether we are having that user already or not. So we need to find it. So yeah, I'll be using the find one function which we already used before. So yeah, I will check that if the email provided is available or not already. So yeah, I will be providing this, and if the user is there, because it will, if the email is there, then it will get stored. Then we'll get the response that a user with this email is here. So we'll be having user. with that email, and then we'll check if passwords given from the user side as well as that is stored in the database are similar or not. So obviously we are having hashed password in our database, and we are providing a string of password from the client side. So we'll be using a bcrypt method for that, that is compare sync. It will take the password from the user, that will be rec.body.password, and it will compare with the hashed password of the user that is stored in the database already. So after this, when the passwords are already matched, we will just return the user details over here with the user id, first name. Just first name, will be having email, and then we'll just return the token as it is required, generate token, and will give the user as its parameter. So if the user is found, we have already respond back with the thing that we have already got the user and we have sent the response. So we'll just return out from here because we don't have to do anything after this. So yeah, so now if the user is not there, then we'll be having the unauthorized code because the user is not there already. So we'll be using 401 code, and we'll just send a JSON message which is invalid email or password. So we are having some errors. So let me check for that. There is, okay, let me check. Um, Sanchit,
Yeah,
let me know if you could see that where we have missed the indentation something.
just a second.
Yeah,
Mm, let me see. Close this bracket as well. Close this bracket. And yeah, you haven't closed this bracket yet.
yeah.
So
So
let
is it fine now?
I guess yes, everything's working rightly. Yes, everything's fine. No disaster errors till now.
Yeah. So it's fine, right? Yeah. Let me just check it. Now
Yeah,
it should be fine.
yes,
Yeah,
now it's fine.
it is fine now. Yeah, I think there was some VS Code issues. So yeah, we have created our sign-in API as well. So I think now we are good to go to check our APIs if it's working or not.
Okay, first be okay. Everything is going here. So yeah, for the testing purpose, you could just go to Google Chrome and download Postman. I prefer Postman. Download Postman for Windows. I'll be using that. The Postman app, and you'll get the download button. I have already downloaded it. It's a bit quite heavy app, so I would say it would be better that you download it. And till then, you could just look into my Postman, and it's a bit heavy app, so it takes some time loading. So yes, it's better. Let me close all these. I've tested this app earlier as well. So I'll be creating a new collection. I'll be not using this earlier one. I'll be using this new collection. I'll name this as API authentication. Enter. I'll be just if oh sorry, this thing is a webinar, and just go on to these three dots, add a request. It should be a post request. The URL should be API/register. This thing. Okay. Now, as I told you earlier in the code that bot is body. So basically, we have there are different parameters. There are different sections of every API request. There are parameters. There are authorization tokens. There are headers, and then there is body. So in the body, we have to give some details. So I'll be using a raw, and the format would be JSON. So as we are registering, we need first name, last name, email, password, and confirm password. I'll be writing all those here. First name Sanchit, last name Sila, email test@mail dot co, password test password confirm password. It should be the same. I'll just copy paste it. Okay. Uh, Let me move this to here. Yeah, now test password, and I'll be sending the request. It shows some error. Generate token function is not defined. Let me see what is happening. Generate token function is not defined. Mm, Generate token. So much typing error. I guess everything would work. Now generate token function is defined, I guess. Generate. Yes, let's go to Postman, send this thing again. User already exists. It could. Let me see what happened here. Mm, just doing some testing, and I'll be explaining you all this thing. Test@mail is. Let me change this email. Yeah, so basically, I was using that database I've used earlier. In this, we have created this database for some other perspective as well. So basically for that testing purposes, I might have used that email as well. So yes, now this thing uh, appeared here. So the name is there, the email is here, and the token is there. We'll just add another request. It would be for sign in. I'll use HTTP, and in the body we just have to pass the raw format JSON. I just have to give email sanchit@iot.co, password test password, and it's a post request. I have to change this here as well. And yes, you are logged in. And with this, we have done the testing as well. So I'll be pushing this code to GitHub, as it has been a long time since we have started. It's almost 1.5 hours. It was scheduled to be almost of 1 hour, but we have extended the time. So I'll be posting the code in my GitHub as well and the IoT's GitHub as well. You could just visit both. If you could visit any of them, and you'll be able to find the code there. So, Mohit, do we need to do something else as well? What do you think?
I don't think. I think we are done with what we had to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I just saw that we have gained subscribers pretty much. So can we have some more subscribers? We have 98 subscribers. Can we hit 100
And
today only?
we are streamers, we are gamers.
Can we have it?
Just need
That
subscribers.
is
Go for
something
subscribers.
mandatory. Yeah,
uh, okay, we'll be the next. We are planning to have more webinars like this. We are planning to engage our community with with a certain other technologies you would be getting here to learn these things. Uh, you could also download or get to know about the Next Day app that IoT Lab has built. You'll be getting all the details about all the events and all the programs that are going on. Right now, it's live. You'll get all the live event details on the all the online event details. When we reach offline, when in the college, you'll get the details of the events where it is happening on that app. So I guess yes, that would be very beneficial for all the people who are in their first year, second year. Uh, okay, it's there on the Play Store. Let me see how many subscribers have we reached.
yeah, we just hit 100 subscribers.
And yes, शगुन का 101 भी हो गया. Nice.
Yep. Thank you so much, guys, for subscribing and to just be here and learn something with us.
Yeah, we'll be using this API in our further events of front end as well. I'll be deploying this as we don't have time right now. We won't be able to deploy that, but if it would be possible, we'll be uploading the deployment video. We won't be doing a live session for that. Maybe not, or maybe it could be possible. It could be on your responses that you would be providing us on our social media, YouTube. If you want the live session for deployment, we can do that in the middle of the week or in the weekends as well. But we'll be deploying this and we'll be sharing everything to you in on our YouTube channel, on our social media. Just be with us, grow with us. That's what IoT stands for.
Yeah,
So with this, signing off. I'm Sanchit Ajila, again IoT Lab Web Team Lead. Um,
yeah, and I'm Mohit Patel, IoT Lab Web Team Lead. And yes, one more thing, guys, you can put your queries, will be here only. And yeah, Sanchit, you can just play the outro. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining in.
just a second. I'll